For as long as I can remember, I have always relied on one technique when it comes to learning about a new field or a new subject. Typically, I would read or I would listen to a lecture and I would summarize it in my own words and concise it up on my own piece of paper and making my own notes. As of recent, I have come across 5 new techniques that have helped me far more than the previous technique that I've used pretty much all my life. And I'd like to share it with you all and hope that it actually benefits somebody else as much as it's benefiting me. So I'd like to summarize these 5 tips or these 5 techniques so that you can begin using them right away. So the first technique is a technique called active recalling, which is to not look at the material that you've studied, to avoid looking at it altogether and try to recall that information by yourself. You could quiz yourself, you could find a blank piece of paper and write down all that you know on this blank piece of paper. You can also create a tutorial, you can tutor somebody, and it will all fall under the banner of actively recalling what you already know. So try to solve another problem, try to solve a new problem. And that is one method that studies indicate really boosts one's ability to remember and actually implement what they're learning about theoretically. The second is to have space between repetition. What I like to do is I like to read in the morning. I like to read my notes in the morning, and then I also like to read my notes in the evening. So I give plenty or ample amount of space between the 2 times that I read. And that gives me space to build on what I already know, space to understand what I'm reading, space to refamiliarize myself with the material that I'm looking at. So definitely give that one a go too. The third is to retrieve and retrieve what you know and practice retrieving it in a similar style and format of quizzing yourself, making a video, talking about what you know, teaching it to somebody, sharing it, what you're learning about, without again looking at your textbooks or the material that you use and rely on when you're studying. The fourth is a practice called interlearning. Interlearning is about adding variety to your learning, adding a mixture of different parts of the field that you're actually trying to become better in. So try to tackle a new problem. Try to tackle a problem you haven't covered before. Try to create a workshop about something a little bit different. So, for instance, if I was creating a sheet of paper that includes SQL commands, I will try to test myself and add how I could use those commands in a different way. So it's still applicable and relevant to what I'm studying, but I've given myself that option to try out what I already know in a different arena altogether. And that really helps with building those connections. The final tip that I'd like to give, tip number 5, is to elaborate. Elaborate means to expand on what you know. It's interesting how when you talk to someone, when you reach out to somebody that's also learning the same kind of subject that you are, and you talk about what you're learning and talk about what you know, you get the opportunity to actually elaborate. And when you elaborate, you bridge together what you already know with what you're learning. And so you find that you have so much that you can talk about. You have so much that you can actually relate to your new topic about. And that really helps expand on the foundation that you already have. So it's really about that journey to keep on adding to what you already know, to your foundation. Once you've understood the core principles, Now you can elaborate in a form of various different styles and formats in this day and age, and then you build these like meaningful reasons as to why what you know is true and why what you know is also going to be relevant. For instance, I can think of when I study Python and I'm learning about variables and I'm learning about lists and I'm learning about structured data. These terms are familiar to me. At the same time, they have unique definitions within SQL, and Python equally has unique definitions for them terms too. So I try to actually understand it from the perspective of where's the similarity between Python and SQL, and how are they used together, and so on and so forth. So I hope this video has helped and will help. Thank you for listening.